Hi there, Erin Lee here of heavenlymessenger.com. Welcome to this week's Connection with Intention. Today is Oh my gosh. Today is Tuesday, August the 12th, 2025, and I'm so incredibly grateful that you've joined me this evening. I do want to do a really quick check-in. I'm going to pop over to the chat quickly, and I just want to check in. Are people able to hear me? I realize that the waves this evening are a little louder than they usually are, and that's been true the last couple of nights. So let me know if you can hear me. Nikki, hello. Good vibes right back to you. Thanks for joining us. So we're going to start off this evening by talking about the energy that's been happening, that's been going on the last couple of weeks, kind of what we're heading into. And Tatiana, thank you, says that you can hear me perfect. So yes, we're going to talk about the energy that's been kind of in the stratosphere recently, kind of what's coming up. And then I had a couple of other things pop up. So I want to jump right in because I want to make sure we have lots of time for your questions. So we are coming out of the energy of the Lion's Gate portal, which we talked about on Thursday. We're coming out of the energy of the full moon, which was on Saturday. And we're also in the shadow phase of Mercury retrograde. So Mercury went direct. I've seen differing reports, either yesterday or the day before. So it's just starting to come out of that. And then in the same way that nothing is smack dab, that it doesn't happen right away, we're in the shadow period where things are slowly starting to adjust and to come back. So even though Mercury has gone direct, we still have some of the different aspects of Mercury retrograde around communication and potentially challenge with electronics and technology. So what the heck does all of that mean? Well, the energy of the Lion's Gate portal was really focused on transformation, coming into yourself, into your passion, what feels best and right for you. There was a lot of manifestation energy that was coming up and really helping to support making change. Some of the fallout with that is that what isn't serving, what no longer supports, is given the opportunity to fall off, fall away. Now, that's a really very kind, simple way to put it. It doesn't mean that it can't be incredibly messy when things start to fall off and fall away. And especially if there are other people who are involved. So relationships over the last couple of weeks may have been challenging because stuff is coming up to the surface to be released. We're being asked, is this in my best and highest good? Is this what I'm wanting to create? And if it's not, and we're open to it, then there is the opportunity for change. And so sometimes that means things are falling off. So that's kind of part of what we had going on with the Lionsgate portal. And then on Saturday and leading up to Saturday and out of Saturday for a couple of days on either side, we also had the energy of the full moon, which again is all about releasing what no longer serves, what no longer supports. We're creating that clean slate. So we've got these two really significant energies that are bringing things to the forefront, that are saying, is this what I want? Is this what I want to be putting my energy into? Through all of that, we also had Mercury in retrograde. So Mercury in retrograde, often what happens is communication becomes challenging and difficult. People maybe aren't getting back to you, or you're not getting back to people. There can be misunderstandings where we aren't seeing eye to eye, even though we're actually saying things that we're intending to agree with each other. But it doesn't always come across that way when we're expressing ourselves during Mercury retrograde. And then on top of that, technological challenges and difficulties. And then on top of that, everything else that's going on in the world outside of us. So if the last couple of weeks have been feeling kind of challenging, I get it. It makes a lot of sense. But I'm also really excited because it means that we've been going through clearing processes. We're being asked to come into, to step into what we're wanting to build and what we're wanting to create for ourselves. This is a time of healing and letting go, and also creation and manifestation. And for some of us, that means that there's lots of energy. For others of us, it means that, hey, I'm really tired. Like, I feel like I've just been in the ring with a boxer. I don't know. My analogy isn't very good, but we feel like we've been hit by a truck and it feels really big and intense and overwhelming. So give yourself grace and compassion, and offer grace and compassion to the people around you, especially the ones that you love, because it hasn't been easy for anyone over the last little while. So be gentle, be easy, and instead of holding on to things that are clearly starting to fall off, allow yourself to wonder, if I allow this thing that isn't working, that maybe hasn't been working, to fall off, fall away, what am I creating room for? And focus on creating the room, creating the space, and filling it with the energy, the intention, the things that you're wanting to build and create in your life. So I guess in all of that, there's also lots of really wonderful opportunity for review, to take a look at, where you want to be putting your energy. Where do you want your resources to be going? I know so many people see the beginning of the year as being kind of January. Others will see it in spring. But I've always seen the beginning of the year and fresh energy actually comes in September. And that's probably connected to going back to school. But see this as an opportunity for, again, a sense of fresh start and preparing for what you're going to be putting your energy into next. So with all of the energy that has been kind of random and all over the place, I wanted to share something with you that I did the other night. And I'm going to start by sharing a photo. So first of all, I took this picture last night, and this was the moon. It wasn't full. The full moon was on Saturday, and I took this last night on Monday, so it's still pretty full, but it's really bright and vibrant. And tonight and tomorrow night are the nights that the Perseids, I never pronounced that properly, the meteor showers are most active. But that doesn't mean that they couldn't still be seen last night and like into July and then also later in August. It's just that they're most plentiful over the next couple of nights. And so I had this really beautiful moon that was illuminating the sky, which does make it a little more challenging and a little more difficult to see what's happening and what's going on. And I don't know if you can see better on your screen than I can see on my screen, but that's looking pretty dark. But the image is looking up at the sky last night, that even though things were really bright and not ideal conditions, it was still worthwhile to go out and to look at the stars. And I was really fortunate. I was really blessed that I did see two very clear shooting stars, meteors that ran across the sky, and it was absolutely amazing. And something that I always find when I stop to slow down and to watch things like the moon rising or the sun rising or paying attention to what's happening around me, particularly in the sky, everyone who has ever lived on the earth has looked at the same stars, has looked at the same moon, has looked at the same sun. And especially during times when things are feeling very polarized, where it feels like there's a lot of challenge and discontent and anger and fear, I find it really helpful to come back to the things that everybody has seen and everybody has experienced. And it's humbling to be able to watch the moon coming up over the horizon and remembering that everybody who has ever existed, who has ever lived on this earth, has at some point in their lives watched the moon come up, or has looked to the moon, or has looked to the stars, or has watched the sunrise or the sunset. These are universal things that everyone has experienced. And so over the next several weeks, if you find that you're feeling ungrounded and a little chaotic and uncertain of what is happening, what is next, I invite you to slow down and to connect with nature and to look at those things, to marvel over those things that we have all experienced. And it really helps to shift perspective and bring us not only back into ourselves, but also into the bigger picture that is far bigger than our lives, is far bigger than the challenges that we're facing on a global level. and moving into this overall universal level. So let's just pop over to the comments. I've been seeing them popping in. I'm really hoping that nobody's saying that they can't hear me over the waves. Hello to Andrea. It's great to see you. Thanks for joining us. And Debbie, good evening. Welcome. Yes, and Andrea's saying yes. And Amethyst, hello. It's so good to see you. Debbie, thank you. I'm so glad that you can hear me. And Amethyst too. Perfect. Becky, hello. I'm so surprised that you're still up. It's great to see you. Hello to Sarah. Yes, and Amethyst is saying Mercury retrograde is over. Yes, it is. As I said, we're still in that shoulder phase. So still give the benefit of the doubt. Still be really clear with your communication. Still give yourself some time in your schedule. Don't pack it full. But yes, it is over, and we're now slowly getting back to things, getting back to normal. I saw today, because I looked for this information, it looks like the shadow phase ends about August the 25th. Yes, Margaret, hello. It's great to see you. Oh, and I'm so glad that Margaret joined me on the radio show today. That's awesome. The second Tuesday of every month, I have a live call-in show on News for the Soul Radio. I do post about it on my Facebook page, and I'll be getting more organized and sharing it in other places as well. Ishika, hi, it's great to see you. And Kevin, hello, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Hearts to Claudia and to Catherine, hello, it's great to see you. Rhonda and Michelle, hello, welcome. And Nikki saying, wow, this makes so much sense. I'm so glad. Yeah, there's so much that's been going on. Wonderful. Pat, I'm so sorry to hear about your sister. Oh, and I just realized I don't have my little thing up. My apologies. That's on me. Pat, I'll come to your question after. We'll start the questions after we go through the Choose Your Adventure crystal reading. So hang on, copy it so that you can paste it into the comments when we open up again. Rimis, hello. It's Steve, of course. Hello, Steve. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. It's great to see you. And you see a heart in the sky picture. That's amazing. I'll have to share it on Facebook and on social media. Drew, utterly beautiful. That's awesome. I'm assuming that that's the pictures. Amazing. And hello to Megan. Hello. And Pat, welcome. Thank you all so much for joining me this evening. Okay, let's go to the Choose Your Adventure crystal reading so that we can then get to some questions from people. So if you have signed up for the email newsletter, where I just give you a quick little invitation to join me for tonight, and then also because we were doing the news for the radio show. So today I also include that. So in the email newsletter, we sent out the Choose Your Adventure crystal reading cards for the evening. So if you haven't joined me before, this is how it works. Everybody has the opportunity to think about a question or multiple questions, and this is just for yourself. So I know that we're in a very public forum here. If you aren't comfortable asking, this is a wonderful way to receive a message. Think about your question and choose a crystal to represent the answer that you need to receive today. So ask your intuition, your higher self, God, source, universe, angels, ascended masters, guides, whoever, whatever you work with and connect with. Ask them for help and support in directing you to the crystal that is best going to represent the answer that you need to hear this evening. So your choices are carnelian, apatite, and selenite. So again, that's carnelian, apatite, and selenite. So I've got a little bit of a breeze here. I'm not complaining about it. It has been so toasty, but I'm going to juggle things around a bit so I don't lose any cards. All right. Oh, and I drew them backwards. It's okay. We're going to figure it out. So hopefully you've had an opportunity to choose a crystal that's going to represent your card for the evening. Is there a way for me to minimize this so that we can still see it, I wonder? Nope. Sorry. Okay, so if you've chosen carnelian, first of all, this is the Mermaids and Dolphins Oracle card deck. If you chose carnelian, the message for you this evening is healing heart. You're a powerful healer. Keep up the great work. And I love this perspective. Often in our new age, metaphysical, spiritual world, whatever you want to call it, people go around and they talk about themselves as healers because they offer different healing practices and healing modalities. And I think it's one of the biggest disservices that we can do for the people that we work with. So you, the person in the situation, are the person who is healing and who is the healer. I see this card as both an empowerment for you and also encouragement to slow down to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. If you've asked a specific question with this, there's some healing that needs to happen in the situation before anyone can start moving forward. And it's important to address that first. It also feels like this is a card that's calling for connection, for compassion, for love, and for gentleness. If you take a look specifically at this card, I hope that you're able to see it with me. It's kind of hard out here, but we have these two beautiful mermaids, and they're both working together. It's not really clear who is receiving and who is giving. And that actually feels like that's a really beautiful part of what's happening, is that there's the energy of reciprocity that's coming up here. What I give, you receive. What you receive, you give. And it goes back and forth and it can be shared. So in the situation that you've asked about, make sure that your focus is on healing for yourself and anyone else who is involved. If you chose the appetite card, the message that we have for you is music for manifesting. To manifest rapidly, think of your desire while you chant, hum, sing, or play music. And so the energy of this card is actually talking about raising your own energy and vibration. It's basically saying that you are in a time of manifestation. And if you've been with us since the beginning of the evening, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's lots of energy. There's lots of opportunity that's here. You're being asked to guide and channel and direct that into the things that you're passionate about, into the things that you love. And when you sing, hum, pray, chant, or in other ways make music, you raise your energy and your vibration to meet those things that you're wanting to pull into your lives, into what you're wanting to create and experience in your life. So let's say that our energy and vibration is down here, but what we're wanting to manifest, what we're wanting to create is up here. When we sing, we hum, we chant, we pray, we raise our energy and vibration so it meets what we are trying to create. So the encouragement here is, as I said, to allow your soul, to allow yourself to sing, and on all of those different levels. I also see it as expression and creativity. So if you have other ways that you like to create and to express yourself, those will absolutely work for you as well. And I also find it really interesting that this was the appetite card, because appetite is a card of manifestation, or pardon me, is a crystal of manifestation and things coming together. So see that as an extra little boost and a confirmation that things are coming together. And the last card is for selenite, and it's the positive energy card. This card specifically says, surround yourself with positive energy and situations and avoid negativity. So again, we're talking about keeping our energy and our vibration high. Now, does that mean that we have to completely remove ourselves from situations that may be negative in the moment, but aren't overall? No, it's just saying make sure that you're paying attention to the energy that you're moving into. And if you are interacting or engaging in situations where the energy feels down or the people are in a lower spot than perhaps they usually are, make sure that you're taking time to support yourself outside of that. And again, the things that we just talked about for manifesting for the people who chose appetite, they're true for you as well. So moving into creativity, allowing yourself to sing, allowing yourself to play are all ways that we can support and embrace positive energy, building and building and building. Now, if you're asking about a situation or circumstances, this card's also saying make sure that you're focusing on contributing positively to the circumstances and the situation. But if you're finding that even doing that, even being proactive in that, your energy is still being pulled down, it feels awful, it feels ick, then it could be asking you to make some pretty significant change so that you aren't continuing to be involved in that circumstance and situation. All right. I am so grateful that you guys joined me for the Choose Your Adventure crystal reading. Let me see. Awesome. Now I see we've had some questions come in. Oh, because it took down my thing. All right. Well, we will just go with it. It is time to ask your questions now. I will say, please ask a specific question. And also on the show, we don't do mediumship, which is connecting with deceased loved ones on the other side. I think I saw one of those questions. So we'll see where we are. Wonderful. And hello to Cassandra, who's joined us. It's great to see you. Hi, Jen. Thanks for joining us. Oh, okay. So let's just see, because I don't generally do mediumship on the show. Let's just see what we've got coming up for you. So first of all, Jen is asking about her dad and her brother who have both passed away, asking if they have important messages for you. Um, and all that I'm hearing that I'm getting from them is full steam ahead. So I'm wanting to encourage you to move forward with something, but this feels like this is some sort of change of direction for you. So I'm feeling like there was something that you had been planning, that you were working on, but it wasn't feeling quite right, and we're making an adjustment, and then I'm getting full steam ahead that's coming up for you on that front. So let's just see if we've got anything else that's coming up around that and what they're saying. No, all I'm getting from them is just keep moving forward, full steam ahead. And I'm hearing that you've got this as well. So there's a lot of encouragement, a lot of support that's coming up for you. Just quickly choosing a card for you, Jen. We have the creative writing card. This is Archangel Gabrielle's card, and her message is: make time to write down your thoughts in a journal or pen an article or a book. It's interesting because I also see this as a form of manifestation. And so what they're talking about is it's important for you to be expressing yourself. It's important to be writing about what's happening, about what you're wanting. But also, is there additional writing that's happening? Like everything that I was getting was really focused on you and what you're doing. But I feel like there's additional something else that you're needing to write that is going to be something that's read by other people. Hold on, we're going to pull one more quick card for a clarifier. So let's clarify this message. What is it that Jen is needing to focus on? Okay, yeah, so we've got relationship harmony card that's coming up here. Yeah, that does feel like that has to do with the full steam ahead, that there are changes that are being made, but I'm not seeing exactly what kind of relationship it is that we have. When this card comes up, it's basically saying that there's help and support in the relationship that you are working on and focusing on. So this could be a relationship with somebody else, but this could also be a relationship with yourself, which again pulls me back into the writing. Jen, I want to invite you to ask another question, because mediumship is not my forte, which is why I don't generally do it on the show. But if you want to pop another question down, I would really love to see if we can get something a little more specific for you. And I'm really grateful that you joined us this evening. Thank you for hopping on. Awesome. Heidi, it's great to see you. Okay, so Heidi's wondering what's in store for the something in the future, I'm going to assume. It looks like it was maybe just an emoji that kind of popped in there and I'm not getting it. So what's in store for me in relation to a committed partner and finances? Okay, let's take a look. So finances are what I'm mostly wanting to focus on, because the partner feels like we're kind of all over the place, and the finances feels like that's something. Ability that's coming up for you. So it doesn't feel like we've got any really big changes that are happening. No, sorry. That's one layer of finances and income. And then I'm seeing something else that's coming up that's bumping you up. So it feels like we have steady and stable money that's coming in that feels like it's consistent with work, with jobs, something that's feeling really dependable, that I don't have to worry about it coming in. It's just kind of there. It's just kind of happening. And then I'm seeing money and finances that are coming up above that. So like what I'm seeing for the main finances are like this. And then the little bit extra that I'm seeing feels like this. So it feels like it's a third to a half again of what your normal is. And that feels like that's starting to pick up over the next couple of months. It does feel like it's short term and kind of temporary. And then we've got a bigger change that feels like it's coming up in 2026. So it feels like there's a bigger shift there's a bigger shift that's happening around money and finances. And there's also money that's coming in that feels like it's a large lump sum. So this feels like this is some sort of settlement. This is possibly money that's coming in from the sale of an asset. So it could be like investment, it could be home, but it feels like we've got a large sum of money that's coming in. Money is coming in, Heidi. It's not going to be an issue. It's not going to be a problem because I'm seeing it coming from lots of different directions. It is stable. As I said, I've got like this lump sum that's coming in, then I've got something that feels like it's probably work related, and then something on top of that that also feels like there might be a working aspect to it, or something that's passive that's bringing additional money in. So money and finances are not going to be a challenge. They're not going to be an issue. Really quickly tapping into the partner, I feel like there's somebody who's kind of in and out right now. And I'm really not wanting to focus on this person. It feels like it isn't the right time to be putting a lot of energy into it. And so if there is somebody who's currently in your life right now, I'm wanting to invest as much as they are, but not to do too much more than that at this point, because it feels like there's some up and down that's happening. And I'm wanting to wait and see what's coming together with that. Because we're focusing, we got two. Because we're focusing more on finances, that's what the cards are focusing on. The first of all, the consultant expert card is what came up. More information is needed. Contact someone with experience in this area. So it does feel like, again, we've got some money that's coming in. So it could be talking about this large lump sum. It could also be talking about, hey, like we need to talk to somebody because we do have more money that's coming in on a regular and consistent basis. Sorry, Charlie the cat just jumped up and I wasn't expecting her. And so, yeah, it's important to be talking to somebody from a financial point of view, a financial advisor, or somebody who can help and support you with investing and investments, because there's more money that's coming in. And then the other card that we have here is the make a decision card. Feeling stuck or indecisive, listen to your intuition and make a decision. And I'm reminded of the saying that when we don't make a decision, we're choosing to stay as we are, where we are. And so sometimes we want to have more and more and more information so that we make the right decision. But it feels like it's starting to come up to a point in a place where you need to make a choice in order to have more information and more opportunity available to you. Because if you become stagnant, it's really hard to get started again. So choices and decisions are coming up for you over the next couple of months. Heidi, it was such a pleasure connecting with you. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way. Awesome. Rhonda, hello. Oops, did I get it? Yes. Rhonda, hello. Rhonda's asking, what does my higher self want to tell me about my current relationship? Awesome. That is a fabulous question. Thank you. So I feel like I've got a little niggle that's kind of coming up. Relationship is feeling healthy in many different ways, but I feel like there's a little niggle that's saying, hey, I need to start paying attention to this because there are some changes or adjustments that need to be made. I'm getting a flip-flop around this because what I'm seeing is it feels like there is still lots of room for growth. I feel like there's lots of love and connection that's here, but there is something that's popping up that's feeling really strong, that's trying to get my attention, that's saying, hey, we need to address this sooner rather than later in order for things to move forward in a positive way for us. But it feels like it's starting to get louder and louder and louder. And your higher self is showing me that it's been trying to get through to you. So I feel like this is something that you've probably been receiving messages around for quite some time. And possibly that there are people who love you who have also been sharing same or similar kinds of messages as well. Hold on, we're going to go to the Archangel Oracle card deck and let's just see what's coming up for you, Rhonda, around relationship and what you need to know and what you need to focus on. It feels like it's an itch under my skin. And it is becoming really frustrating. And so I see why you're asking, because it's showing me like, pay attention, take a look what's happening. It feels like it's really trying to show you, and I'm feeling a little bit stubborn, like I don't want to see it, or like, yeah, I get it, I know. And it's kind of like your higher self saying, but No, you really need to pay attention to it. Let's see. Interesting. So the card that we have that's coming up for you is the victory card. This is Archangel Sandalphon. His messages are: your prayers have been heard and answered. Have faith. So, first of all, Archangel Sandalphon lifts our prayers up to God, Source, Universe, whatever your belief system is. That's where he lifts things up, and it's kind of like he helps to put things to the front of the line. When Archangel Sandalphon is seeing things that are needing to be adjusted, he's like, let's get this to the front of the line. So basically, you have lots of help and support in your relationship, in the circumstances and situation that you're in right now, and there is support with making the changes and the adjustments. Again, I do still feel that there's love in this relationship, in this situation, but the longer that things are brushed off or put off to the side, the more challenging it is overall. I want to do one more clarifying card for this, and we have the patience card. So this is Archangel Jophiel. Your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize. Still, they need time, nurturing. Pardon me. Still, they need nurturing and patience. And with this card, if you take a look, I don't know if you can see it too clearly, but we have an angel who is watering her garden. And I'm not a gardener, but I know that gardens need water, and they also need like sunlight and nutrients and stuff. But even though they need water, if you stand over your garden night and day with a watering can, you're going to drown your garden, which is a really interesting message to get given everything else that's popping up. So patience is being called for. It is being asked for. It's interesting because usually this message would mean focus on other things. So I would say make sure that you're focusing and supporting yourself through this, but at the same time, making sure that you focusing on yourself isn't fixing some things while not adjusting the underlying shifts that need to happen in the relationship. So talk to your partner, address the things that are important to you, because it feels like those tingles, those niggles are exactly what you need to focus on. Rhonda, I'm really grateful that you joined us this evening. Thank you so much for popping on. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way. All right, Tatiana, thanks for joining us. Let me see. So Tatiana is asking, what was he feeling when we spoke today? Mercury out of retrograde, and we talked today. So context, I'm having nerve conduction test tomorrow, and he had a surgery for the same elevated rib issue. I've been feeling a bit nervous about it and asked him about it. Immediately got back to me to rest my mind at ease. Also for this, you got carnelian. Interesting. Okay. So basically the overall question is kind of what's happening in relationship and in this connection. It does feel like there are some bridges that are being made, but it doesn't feel like they're extending beyond the interaction that you're having. So I'm feeling the need to keep things really low key. And yes, to reach out for support, which feels really awesome, but also not to rely on this connection for primary support, for all of the support that you need right now moving forward. There is interest, but time still feels like it's coming up as being significant. Giving some time, giving some space to make sure that everybody has what they need. When I connect with him, he's showing me that he's still feeling overwhelmed and he is exhausted. So what he has to give is very, very minimal. And it feels like he's not in a place to give maybe as much as you're needing. So making sure that you're supporting your needs outside of this relationship in order to also take a little bit of pressure off of what's happening there. There is still openness. There is still connection. It feels like there is the opportunity and possibility for some communication over the next couple of weeks as well. But I'm not feeling anything really substantial and consistent coming up for a little bit longer. We're going to go to the archangels and we're just going to ask, what does Tatiana need to know about the relationship that she's in right now? And I'm hearing, take your time. It feels like there's a song with this. Take time. Do, 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 do. I feel like there's a slow hand in that too. I don't know. I wish that my knowledge of song lyrics was better because they give me little bits and pieces. Okay, so we have Archangel Ariel with the prosperity card, and I'll read this to you and then I'll share a little bit more about what's happening. So, Archangel Ariel, your material needs are provided as you follow your intuition and manifest your dreams into reality. So, part of what that's telling me is that from a financial point of view, from a material point of view, you have what you need to support yourself, especially as you've got some health stuff that's going on. Know that that is being supported and taken care of. Now, Archangel Ariel, in terms of what she does, she if angels had ego, they don't. But if angels had ego, she would be the girlfriend that always has your back and everything's going to be okay. And if you need something, she'll be there. And she's going to be the one who encourages you to stand tall, to be brave, and to be courageous. And so part of what she's saying is it's important to step forward with the things that you know to be true and to step forward with a sense of bravery as well. But I also see this being a bit of a shift in change in patterns and dynamic and energy. So she's also saying, don't be afraid to try something new. Now is the time to do that. I'm giving you the help and the support and the encouragement that you need to do that. So I'm not wanting to give up on this relationship and this connection, but I'm still wanting to give it a little bit of space in order for everybody to come into balance. And Tatiana, I'm so incredibly grateful that you joined us this evening. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love, lots of support to you and to your fella. It feels like both of you could use a little extra boost right now. Awesome. Catherine, thanks for joining us. It's always so good to connect with you. Okay, so we've got another mediumship, so I'll do the best that I can, but that's not my forte. So is my mom in peace, and what would she like me to know? Um, so first of all, I do feel her being at peace. There's a part that is experiencing a bit of sadness, which is interesting because usually once we cross over to the other side, there is peace. But she's showing me that she's wanting to make sure that you're okay. And she's showing me that there are some people who are really struggling with her passing and with her being on the other side. And she's wanting to offer reassurance to say, hey, I'm okay. Everything's okay. And she's showing me that she's showing you that she's around as well. Immediately I had butterflies popping into my head. So pay attention to butterflies. And she's showing me hummingbirds. She's showing me little things that are flying. And she's wanting you to know. She's wanting you to know that she's around. And she's also showing me leading you to money. Which feels like that's a really interesting thing. It feels like she wants to make sure that you are financially supported and taken care of, and she's helping to make sure that that happens for you. So I wouldn't be surprised if she's also starting to leave nickels and dimes to help to show you that, but she's showing me that she's helping to lead you to money and finances to make sure that everything is okay, that you have the resources that you need. Because she's showing me that that's like one of the big things that she's concerned about for you, or possibly that you're concerned about, but that feels like that's one of her big concerns. So to honor that, we're going to go to the Mermaids and Dolphins Oracle card deck, and we're just going to ask, what messages does your mom have for you? What does she want you to know? And particularly if anything comes up around money and finances. This is beautiful. So the card that we've got for you is the Make-A-Wish card. This is a magical moment. Make a wish and enjoy its manifestation. So I love this card, and I'm hoping you guys can see this. When we look at it right side up, we see in the foreground a mermaid, and she's reaching out her finger and she's touching the horn of a unicorn. But if we turn it upside down, they're at a pond, they're at a body of water. We turn it upside down, it's a girl sitting on a rock, not a mermaid, and it's a horse, not a unicorn. Like, she still has her finger out, but the connection isn't there in the same way. And part of what this card is saying is to make a wish that the reality that you're wanting is already there. It's kind of like the flip side of the coin. And so if in some way you're experiencing lack, whether it be on a financial level or material level or love or health or any form of abundance, know that it's just on the flip side. And part of it starts with how we perceive the situation, with how we look at the situation. Because if we look at it as being something that is impossible or challenging or difficult or something that we can't overcome, then that is what we will create. But if we allow ourselves to imagine and allow ourselves to look outside of what we think is possible and to broaden that horizon, then there is opportunity in lots of different ways. And part of what I hear with that is to think outside of the box as well. And then she shows me to make sure that you're taking care of your body, to slow down, to take care of you. I've got some soreness that's kind of coming up in through my neck and my shoulders and my back. And I just want to encourage you to make sure that you're taking care of your physical body and you're stretching and you're being gentle and you're nourishing your body. And paying attention to your lungs. I'm assuming as we move into, could be with the smoke in the air right now from the fires, but also as we're moving into cold and flu season, just making sure that you're paying attention to your lungs. Well, that was that was a lot, but do know that she is okay and that she's with you and she's watching out over you, and she, is so proud of you, that she loves you, and she's excited about what is to come. Catherine, I'm so incredibly grateful that you joined us this evening. Thank you so much for hopping on. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way. Andrea, hello. It's so good to see you. Woo, what a wild week. Yeah, it has been. So my question is, now that all the high energy is calmer, are Dana and I going to go back on track to building a future? Yes and no. Okay, so first of all, things are starting to shift, but we're not completely out of it yet. So do know that the next couple of weeks, there are still going to be challenges with communication. There are still likely misunderstandings that are going to come up. So if you can, make sure that you are really clear with your words and what's important to you. And make sure that you're listening to what Dana has to say as well, because open communication is going to be really important through this. There is the opportunity for reconnection that's coming up as we move into September and October. But part of what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to make sure that you're really taking into consideration what has happened over the last couple of weeks, because, oh my gosh, things being really crazy and intense is bringing stuff up to the surface. And it's brought stuff up to the surface. And so we kind of brush it off. We let it go. Is bringing stuff up to the surface because it's asking us, is this what we want? Is this what we want to move forward with? And so if over the last couple of weeks you've been seeing patterns that have been repeating and maybe not improving, just recognize that there's a lot more that's here. And I also want to encourage you to take a look at where the universe may have been offering other options or other solutions. So I do feel like there is an opportunity for the two of you to work things out, but I feel like they're kind of throwing the brakes on. They're showing me that there's more that is needing to be addressed in this in order to be able to come into that. And I'm wanting to make sure that you are investing at the same level that your partner is investing at. So not really big on you, and then your partner's kind of like, well, this is what I've got to give to you. Because yeah, it feels like this is a shift and change in patterns that is coming up for you too. We're going to go to the Archangel Oracle card deck, and we're just going to ask, what does Andrea need to know? I'm going to ask about romance and relationships in general. What do you need to know around romance and relationships? Here we go. We have the life review card. This is Archangel Jeremiah, and his message is: take inventory of your life and resolve to change or heal anything that is unbalanced. So what this card is saying is it's encouraging you to take a bit of a step back and ask, is this what I want? If I look at what I want romantic partnership and relationship to be, what I want that experience to look like overall. I mean, obviously, it can't always be perfect, but overall, is this what I'm wanting to build towards? Is there consistency or do I need consistency? And if I need consistency, am I seeing that and experiencing that in relationship? If I were to create my ideal partnership and relationship, how well does this person, the way that they are acting and interacting with me, fit into that? And is that something that I feel that I can work on and build with them? So there is definitely opportunity, and it does all come down to what you choose. But I'm not wanting, it doesn't feel like we can say like the next couple of weeks are going to be right on, because it's not over the next couple of weeks. And it does feel like you're going to be on training wheels as we move into kind of the middle of September and October, where it does feel like there's opportunity, but I feel like there's still some questions that are needing to be answered and addressed. And I want to encourage you to ask those questions. Andrea, it's always such a pleasure to connect with you. Thank you so much for hopping on. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way. Maxine, it's so good to see you. Thank you so much. I am in another beautiful and amazing space. I'm feeling pretty blessed. Thank you. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support to you. Awesome. Ishika, hi Ishika, thanks for joining us. Last week I had asked about job hunting. There's another company. I've tried for called Small Case. Do you see me landing a job with them? I do see that there's potential with it. There's one that we spoke about, and I don't remember which ones they are. I feel like there were about 4 of them, and I feel like this was one that was towards the beginning of that I'm wanting to keep an eye on. I don't want to completely let go of that option and that opportunity just yet. When I ask about Small Case and is there an opportunity to be with them? Yeah, absolutely. It feels like there is, and it feels like you could be hearing about something within like the next week and a half. So towards the end of next week, which would be like the 23rd-ish, I think, of August. So it does feel like there is opening, there is some opportunity there. And this actually feels like this could be a really good opportunity for you. I do feel like, and I want to continue to encourage you to be focusing on something that is your own, because it feels like it's outside of the next job that you're going to be getting. This is like job career. And then the other thing that I'm seeing you work on feels like it's almost passion. So either the work itself is a passion, or it allows you to build life where you're experiencing a lot of passion. You're able to do a lot of the things that you want to do. So it's creating more freedom and flexibility. So don't let go of this other thing, because that feels like that's really important. The job that's coming up, as I said, Small Case feels like it's a reasonable option for you. And it does feel like there's something that you're going to hear about towards the end of next week. And it feels like you're going to be able to run with it. So whether it's this one or one of the ones that we talked about last week, something is coming to fruition, and it is feeling good. And it is going to allow you to work on this other thing that is the passion work, or that is the work that's going to allow you to focus on passion work. Let's see. We're going to go to the mermaids and dolphins, and we're just going to ask, what does Ishika need to know about job, work, and what's coming up over the next couple of weeks? That's the energy we want to put out there. 2, 1. Interesting. I'm going to ask for a qualifying card for that. Okay, good. So the card that popped up is the mother healing card. As your feelings towards your mother heal, your desires manifest more rapidly and accurately, which is interesting because I didn't have that specifically coming up. However, the way that this could be coming into play is around your mom in particular, or parents in general, around how they see being able to work to earn money and to support yourself. And so, especially given that I'm seeing that there's some other passion work that's on the side, it could be that part of the mindset or the mentality is we go to work, we have a job, we get a paycheck, and that's what we do. And so making sure that there aren't some underlying ideas around how things need to be. And if there are old stories that are there that you don't want, make sure that you actively work to heal them, to release them, to move on and to move forward from them, so they don't hold you back, both from getting this job, this position that's coming up for you, and also focusing on the passion work. And the clarifying card that I had pulled for you is the yes card. Your intuition is correct. Take action accordingly. So I see this as confirmation of what you are working towards, what you are wanting to build. And again, like I'm hearing the words full steam ahead. You're on the right track. You're on the right path. Carry forward. We have one more that just kind of popped out with that card as I was putting them away. It's the worthiness card. Know that you deserve to receive good in all ways. So again, I would take a look at that mother healing, family healing, and make sure that you are feeling worthy of what you're wanting to build, what you're wanting to create. It may not be specifically what they have spoken to you, but it could be what they've shown you, and how they've shown you to move forward. Sorry, I've got a little bit of wind popping up here and it's blowing my stuff around. Ishika, I'm so incredibly grateful that you joined us this week. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way, and lots of support for this new job and the passion work that's coming too. I'm really excited for you. Awesome. Amy, hello. It's so good to connect with you. Let's just take a look and see what we've got coming up around health. So first and foremost, I need to remind you that I am not a medical health practitioner in any way, shape, or form. So all I can share with you are the messages that are coming up for me. And it's important for you to take action based on what you are getting and what you're seeing for your health. Please don't replace your own medical health care practitioner with anything that I've said. So for entertainment purposes only, when I check in with health, I'm wanting to focus on movement. I've got some pain that's coming up in through, I want to call it my low back. I'm kind of feeling it in my hip, but it could be a little bit lower or a little bit higher. And I feel like I'm having a hard time moving. And so I'm wanting to stretch, I'm wanting to be gentle, but movement is coming up as being really important. And then they kind of popped into something here that felt more like heartburn. This doesn't feel like this is anything that's happening with your heart or your lungs. This actually feels like it's more connected to digestion and to your stomach. So I'm wanting to pay attention to the foods that you're eating and how you feel like half an hour and 2 hours after you eat them, because it feels like there's something that might not be agreeing with you. And it feels like this is something that you've probably eaten for all of your life and it's never been a problem. And now suddenly we've got something coming up with it. Is it all the food or is it stress? Now that's interesting because it feels like it's kind of a combination of both. So if you're experiencing any kind of challenges with digestion, with how you're feeling in your stomach or any kind of heartburn, pay attention to when you eat and how you feel when you're eating. If you're thinking about things or you're stressed or you're like scrolling through social media or whatever, and you're finding yourself getting tense, that's going to have an impact and an effect on your digestion and your body's ability to deal with it. And it could start creating some chaos. So make sure that when you are eating, that you're in as stress-free an environment as possible. And I realize, especially when it comes to work, that may be easier said than done. But as much as possible, breathe, eat, and be relaxed when you do so. I feel like there might be a couple of other things that are popping up, but it feels like these are things that you're already aware of and that you're already taking action on. So I want to celebrate the fact that it feels like you're already taking action on things. And if you're already working on any of the things that we've spoken about, I really want to celebrate and congratulate you and see this as a confirmation of the steps and the actions that you're already taking. Let's see if there's anything else. The only other thing that's popping up is I'm wanting to make sure that you're getting good sleep. Yeah, and that feels like that has to do with your position in bed. So this is kind of silly because I've been thinking about getting one for myself. I just saw one of those pregnancy pillows, you know, the ones that are in like a U and they're like a body pillow on steroids. If that feels like that's something that would be comfortable for you and helpful, I would encourage you to take a look at that because I'm wanting to make sure that your body has all of the support that it needs to be comfortable to get a really awesome night's sleep. Let's take a look and see what messages are coming up for you. Take back your power. I think this is Archangel. Oh, it's Archangel Raziel. And his message is use your God-given power and intention to manifest blessings in your life. I feel like this is something that you've already started to move into. And it feels like you are taking control and decisions back over your life. And um, I want to celebrate that with you. It feels like in the past you've been kind of working here. It's like I'm reaching, I'm trying to grab something, I'm trying to hold something, and what they're showing me now is like, nope, we're gonna rest. We're just gonna wait, and we're gonna see what happens. I'm not chasing anything. I'm allowing this to come to me because I know that it can. And it feels like there's a bit of a mind shift that's coming with that. And so it feels like this applies on lots of different levels. You've asked about health. And so I'm going to talk about how that could apply to health. And it feels like this has to do with, again, like those changes and adjustments that I'm seeing you making. And it feels like the mentality is switching from maybe this is hard or this is challenging or I've done this before and I don't want to do it again, to I'm going to give this a try because this time I'm a different person and this time it's going to be easy and this time it's not going to be problematic. So allow yourself to kind of sit with that and see what happens. But I'm feeling you really taking control of your health and your well-being, and it feels awesome. Amethyst, I'm so incredibly grateful that you joined us this evening. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way. And I look forward to the next time we connect. Thanks for joining us. All right, Maxine, thanks for asking. So Maxine's asking about travel or job prospects in the future. Let's take a look. So again, I wish that I had I wish that I had a better handle on music lyrics, but this song actually feels like it comes with some dance move. So I'm moving on up and I'm moving on out. Time to break free. Nothing can stop me. Yeah, I won't quit my day job, but so first and foremost, it feels like that has to do with some of the energy that's coming up around you. It's like I'm gonna be playful with this. I'm gonna have fun with this. I'm not gonna stress and I'm not gonna worry about this. So that says to me that we're feeling fairly comfortable with where we are, but it does feel like we've got some new options and we're looking for not looking for, we're open to opportunity. So first and foremost, I want to say I'm feeling you being employed and having job, and I'm seeing the way that they're showing it to me is like a standard vehicle and shifting gears. So going from like second up into third is literally the way that I'm seeing this. So it feels like there is opportunity in the structure that you're in. And it does feel like it moves up and into new place. When I ask about other options and other opportunities, yeah, there are options and there are opportunities with this. I'm seeing something that feels like it has to do with booking and scheduling and helping people and answering questions. And then when I ask more about it, I'm getting a flip-flop on this because it feels like you're at home, and I feel like it's more important for you to be interacting with people in person because that's part of where your energy and your flow kind of comes in. So I'm not exactly sure how that's working into things, but I do see you answering questions and kind of helping people to sort things out, to figure things out, and then things are just kind of moving along. I'm also hearing that you're the hostess with the mostest. Um, yeah, so it feels like there's some aspect and element of problem solving that's coming up with what you're doing too. But there's lots of social and lots of socialization. Travel does feel like it's an option, but I'm not 100% sure where this is coming from. This could be coming in through work, but I also feel that this is something that you're doing that's more on your own. It's kind of like, nope, I've decided that I'm going to do this thing and I'm going to do it. And I'm going to take 2 weeks and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to travel. It feels like we've got some pretty awesome experiences that are coming up. When I look at this, I've got the fall in particular is what's hitting me. November, though it could be a little bit earlier than that. And I feel like you're exploring and experiencing. So yeah, we've got lots that's kind of going on. There are lots of messages that are coming up and coming through for you. I'm trying to get everything that I can for you. So there are some shifts and some opportunities with work and job and career there. And it feels like you are currently working, that there is an opportunity that's kind of, here's where you are, it's kind of up and over, from where you are, and it does feel like it's a really great opportunity. Again, like social and interaction feels like it's huge. I'm also seeing work that's available to you outside of the current structure that it feels like you're working in. Again, we've got lots of interaction with people. It feels like it's highly social, and like you're solving problems, you're helping to fix things, and things are moving forward. It feels like it's a really fast-paced environment. In fact, I'm noticing that in just like talking about it, I'm speeding up. There's kind of a lot that's going on. There's lots of stimulation. There's lots of opportunity. And then I can decompress after. So in terms of when and how, what are we looking at? The one within your job, interestingly, feels like it comes up after this other one comes in, and it may come as a result of finding something else and saying, hey, I need a change. And good Lord, my friend, it feels like there may be a time and a space where you are doing two things at the same time and you are busy. So yes, the next several months feel like they're really full on and intense. We're going to go to the Mermaids and Dolphins Oracle card deck, and we're just going to ask, what does Maxine need to know about what's happening and what's coming up with work? Sorry, I've got two that are coming up for you. So the first card is the friendship card. Make a date for a play day with one or more friends. This card is saying, as much as work is important, it's also important to make sure that you're playing and having fun. Too much work makes somebody a sad boy. That's what popped in. So make sure that you're taking time to have some fun and to play, because you don't want to be a sad boy or girl or woman. And then the second card that came up was accept heaven's help. You've prayed for help, so get out of the way and let heaven help you. I feel like this one kind of comes with a little bit of a kick in the butt with it as well. And it's just kind of saying, hey, like, you know what you're ready for, you know what you want to do, and just be open to it coming. And at the same time, it's so funny because I feel like opportunities just kind of present themselves to you. So there is going to be something. I'm not even worried about it. And yet there's kind of this little kick in the pants of saying, hey, make sure that you're open to receiving too. Maxine, it's always such a pleasure connecting with you. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way. Awesome. Pat, hello. Thanks for joining us. Oh, yes. Pat's asking about her sister that passed on Friday. Very confused about our relationship. Hold on. It looks like it got cut off here. I'm just going to quickly see if. Here we go. Very confused via our relationship, angry at how she dismissed me up to the end. Not sure what that was about, looking for the truth, no matter what it is. Okay, Pat. First and foremost, I'm so sorry about the passing of your sister and how things were and where things were when she passed. When I ask, she shows me feeling defeated, which is interesting because it feels like that's actually more what you were feeling. When I ask about where she is and her perspective, I feel like I'm connecting with her at a soul level as opposed to an ego level. So the ego level is often how we interact with people while we're here. And that soul level, some of us are able to connect with that and operate from that space on a more regular basis. And others of us have a really hard time kind of connecting the two. And so we kind of live in ego. And it feels like that may have been a lot of the relationship dynamic that was built when the two of you were still young, and that didn't evolve a lot on her part. So a lot of the patterns that were developed when the two of you were young, and these could be family patterns, these could be the way that parents treated the two of you, whether it was conscious or subconscious, feels like that carried forward with you into adulthood. At a soul level, she shows me that she was doing the best that she could with the resources that she had, but that it feels like it was really difficult for her to access the resources that she had. I feel a lot of apology that's coming forward from a soul level. It's interesting because she's still reconciling ego and soul on the other side. She's having a difficult time. Sorry, I shouldn't say a difficult time. She hasn't been gone that long. She hasn't had a lot of time to do it. And it feels like although she's on the other side, she's still processing being on the other side and coming into that balance. Um, it feels like there is peace that comes for her, and there's peace that comes for you as well. Let me just go back to the question that you asked, because I feel like there's something that I've missed in your question. Yeah. Yeah. So just rereading your question, angry at how she treated and dismissed me up to the end. I'm not sure what that was about. You know what? As I said, it feels like that was really ego based for her and had to do with patterns that developed when you were young. And from a soul level, I don't see that being the way that she wanted to connect with you. I find often that relationships that were challenged while loved ones were here are often easier to heal once the loved one has crossed over and has passed. Because when we're interacting and dealing with our loved ones here on the earth plane, it's really easy for one or both of us to move into that ego space, and especially in family relationships, because our family that we were born into, they know how to push our buttons because they created the buttons. And so it's really easy to go back and push them because they're the ones who made them. Once we're able to move into a space where we can connect at the soul level, that's where true healing can happen. And so I kind of see your sister in the two parts that each of us have. We have the ego and we have the higher self, the soul. And I'm seeing you being able to connect with her at higher self level and soul level, because that's where the healing is. From an ego perspective and point of view, she shows me she did the best that she could with the resources that she had, but she had a hard time accessing the resources. And it feels like it was a safe space. And kind of the message that I'm seeing around that, when parents are experiencing challenge with their children because they're acting out, they're being mean, they're hitting, they're yelling, they're screaming, whatever it is, and they only do it with them. They don't do it while they're at school. They don't do it while they're with their friends. Sometimes they don't do it with the other parent. It's just with the one parent. It's because they're holding everything together while they're with all of those other people. And the safe place is where they can let that go and all of that emotion that's built up. And your sister shows me that that's part of why things happened as they did in your relationship. Not to excuse it, but hopefully to offer some understanding. And I also want to let you know that being angry is a really justified emotion to feel and to experience in this circumstance. But also that it feels like you will come into a place where you are able to find healing as well. And the healing is for you. It's not for her. She's responsible for her own, but that this healing is for you. I'm just going to ask, what we need to know. We're going to the Archangel Oracle card deck for this. Interesting. Okay. So the card that we have is career transition, but wait with me for this one. So this is Archangel Shamuel. His message is your life purpose is triggering a blessed career change. Now, Archangel Shamuel helps and supports us in a lot of different ways. And one of those ways is in helping us to find things. So that's why Shamuel comes up with career, because he helps and supports us in finding the right career, the life path, the life purpose that we're meant to walk. Shamuel also helps and supports us in partnerships and relationships of all sorts, particularly romantic, but also other relationships as well. And it feels like that is how Archangel Shamuel is coming up to help and to support you, is in helping to find that relationship, that connection, to allow for healing for you between you and your sister. The other angel that I would encourage you to connect with is Archangel Azrael. And his name is spelled Azrael, Azrael. And in the past, stick with me again for this one. In the past, Archangel Azrael has been known as the angel of death, because Archangel Azrael helps and supports us when it's time for us to cross over to the other side. So he's been around helping and supporting your sister crossing over to the other side, but also helps and supports the loved ones who are here as well. So as you're moving through all of the feelings, all of the emotions, call on Archangel Azrael and ask him for help and support in coping and dealing and healing. And just popped into my head that another way that Shamuel helps is he helps and supports us in relationship harmony as well. So there is a lot of support that's available to you. Pat, I'm so incredibly grateful that you hopped on and joined us this evening. I'm sending so much love and hugs and support to you, and healing as well. And I just happened to look at our the counter, the time. We're at 1 hour, 11 minutes. And when I looked at it, we were at 11 seconds. So there is so much help and support, and that's a confirmation of it. Big hugs, Pat. Thanks for joining us and for asking again. Okay, let me see. Kevin. Hi, Kevin. Thanks for joining us. Kevin says, I have an unexpected interview on Monday. Oh, for a new position with a new property management company. Will I get the job? What should I know about this path? Okay. I'm hearing, and I'm feeling good. I think that's a Michael Bublé. I think, or no, anyway, it doesn't matter who it is. But as soon as I asked about that, that's immediately what I felt. So it feels like this is a good opportunity, and it's something that you feel good about too. It feels like when you go into the interview, you're in a good spot, you're in a good space, and part of that, it's almost like you're playing a little bit, you're not playing hard to get, but it's kind of like, you know what, I know that I could take this or I could leave this, and I feel really good about that. So unless what you're offering is what I'm looking for and it's enough to make me make a change, I'm okay. And because you're entering in with that kind of energy, it feels like it not only sets the tone for the interview, but it also sets the tone for the energy and the environment and the vibe that you're going to experience while working there. So it does feel like you are offered the job and the position. There's something that's popping up for me, that there's some sort of adjustment that's happening in this new company, this organization that you're working with. So I don't know if it's a new company or if they're going through some sort of rebranding or they're going through some sort of structural changes, but I feel like something is being revamped. Will I get the job? Yes, it does feel like it will be offered to you, and you can choose to accept it or not. Again, based on those things that we talked about. What should you know about this path? When I look at the company that you're going to be working with, as I said, it feels like there's some sort of change and restructuring. Things are shifting. So do know that what you're going into doesn't feel like it's completely stable, because they're still building and still developing it, which I'm actually really excited about, because it feels like there's opportunity for you to bring your experience, your expertise, and your knowledge into this and offer suggestions. And I do feel that when you're being heard, you're being respected, and they're taking that. And it's like, yeah, that does make a lot of sense. So that's kind of part of what I want to encourage you to bring to your interview as well, so that they know what they're getting when they ask you to come and work with them. So yeah, mostly that. It does feel like it is. It does feel like it's a strong and stable business. So I'm not seeing it folding or going under. It feels like it's got enough customers and clients, and it's building. So like there's stability in the job and in the position. And it also feels like over the next couple of years that it evolves into something else for you, and that feels like it's equally exciting too. So there's a lot of opportunity here, not only for the time while you're working there, because there's, again, like things are shifting and growing and you will have a certain amount of say in that, but also there's opportunity for you to grow in it too, because it feels like your role changes and it's almost like you're here part of it, and then like I feel like you're kind of off to the side, and that feels exciting. Let's pull a card for you. We're going to go to the mermaids and dolphins, because they're all about manifestation and money and energy and like what's happening, what's going on. So, oops, that's our card. What does Kevin need to know? Amazing. We have the Blessed Changed card, and I don't think Kevin's been here for some time, so I'll explain. This is one of my favorite cards in this deck. If you take a look, you'll see this mermaid. Hopefully you can see her. And she's like turned completely upside down. Things maybe feel a little bit chaotic. She's pointed away from the light up in the top corner, like she's down here. But if you look really, really closely, and you may not be able to see it because the camera's not great, if you look really closely, you'll see that she's actually smiling. So even though everything feels like it's turned completely upside down, she's happy and she's content, because whatever is turned upside down, she knows is bringing about something better. And it's kind of like organizing your space. In order to do it, you have to pull everything out, and it may go from somewhat organized to completely unorganized before it can go become organized again. So you're in that kind of chaotic spot. Don't worry, things are going to get better, and they're going to get better in a really awesome way. So I'm excited for your interview. I'm excited for the opportunity that's presenting itself. And I'm excited that you get to choose whether or not you take this position, whether or not it works for you. But it feels like it will. Kevin, I hope that you come back and let us know how it goes. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way. Cassandra, hello. It's so good to see you. Oh my gosh, amazing. So Cassandra says, I started a new job February and love it. Awesome. Everything has been going smoothly with my professional life. My family is now prepping to have my dad move in with us this fall and retire. Oh, amazing. Do the angels have any messages for me regarding the direction my life is going? Or I guess any messages they want me to be aware of? Okay, so let's take a look. So work feels like it's continuing as is. Sorry, guys, it's breezy here. Work is continuing forward as it is. I don't see any big hiccups that are coming up with that. It does feel like I don't know if this is something that's seasonal or if this is a project that you're focusing on, but I have a lot of energy that's going into work the later part of this year. It feels like I don't know if we're in a preparation phase for something that's coming up or some sort of project, but it feels busy, in a good way. So just make sure that you have the resources that you need at home for yourself, in your relationship, in your family, any responsibilities that you have. Make sure you have that kind of organized. And I'm seeing things like meal prepping or meal planning on the times that you have off, or if you have somebody else in the house who can help and take some of that off of your plate, if it's on your plate. Those would be really positive things to focus on, like leading up into that busy time. It feels like if you guys get that into place kind of like September and October, it's going to be second nature. It's not going to be a problem. It's not going to be an issue when things do become busy. And as I said, it feels like things become busy in November. Let me see. Angels have any messages for you regarding the direction life is going? I'm noticing that I'm wanting to slow down and to breathe and to make sure that I'm taking time for myself. I feel like life is really busy, which feels like it can be a good thing. Family feels like it's in a good place. Work is in a good place. Social is feeling like it's in a pretty good place, though, it wouldn't hurt to socialize more if you have the time and the energy. But mostly, everything in your life feels like it's really busy. It's asking a lot from you. And I see that you're happy to give what you have to give, but I'm also wanting to make sure that you're taking the time to nurture and nourish yourself, because everything is busy and everything is full and it feels like you give so much of yourself. I just want to make sure that you're giving to yourself and allowing yourself to receive. And some of allowing yourself to receive may be setting up some of these systems that we just kind of talked about, that we just brushed over. So um, allowing yourself to receive also goes hand in hand with asking for what you need, until possibly the people in your life become accustomed to offering it, because it feels like you usually have things under control. Like you've got a really good system, and you're really able to be available for people. And sometimes people don't realize just how much energy that takes. And so make sure that you start asking, maybe even before you actually need help. One, to help set the expectation that people need to help and participate as well. But also, it feels like it feels good for them to be able to help you too. Um, I'm reminded I'm reminded of a lesson that I learned at the very beginning of my path in my career. I've always been a giver, and one of the best gifts that you can give to someone else is the gift of giving. So sometimes part of the reason that we like to give to people, whether it's like a physical gift or it's the gift of time or just helping and supporting, is because that feels good. Like when we give, it feels good to give. And one of the best gifts that you can give to somebody else is the gift of giving to you. And to really give them that gift, we need to allow ourselves to receive. So, not, oh, no, no, don't worry about that. Or, oh, no, no, I don't need you to do that. Because that actually kind of diminishes what they're trying to give to you. Instead, switch it to, you know what? I really appreciate that. Thank you. Even if you didn't need the help, or even if you didn't need it, thank you. I really appreciate that. And you've given them the gift of giving. And that's pretty amazing. Let's take a look and see what messages are coming up for you, Cassandra. I'm just going to keep it open. What, whoops, do you need to know? And it pops right out. Okay, this card has popped out now 2 or 3 times, and it's the career transition card. Again, this is Archangel Shamuel. So your life purpose is triggering a blessed career change. You know, I'm not seeing any really big changes from the overall structure and organization that you're working in, but I am kind of going into that thing that's popping up in November. And so I'm wondering if there is potentially a new level of responsibility or a new aspect to your job that you're going to be taking on. But it feels like there's more growth that's happening in your work and career, which makes all of the other messages that we had coming up for you even more important. So imagine taking your work role that already feels really amazing and really big and significant, and seeing that expanding. So maybe you have all of the resources that you need in order to manage right now, but when things expand to this level, you might need a little help. So before you need the help, learn to accept it. Cassandra, I'm so incredibly grateful that you joined us. I'm so excited about the job that you're in, that you're enjoying it, and about all of the shifts and changes that are happening in your family as well. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way, and smooth sailing for for your dad's move into your home. Awesome. Avril, it's so good to see you. It's been forever. Avril saying, just wondering if I'm in the right fit for my job and if it's stable as it's a new business. Okay, let's take a look. Um, first of all, as soon as I asked about the business, immediately it showed me, or what I saw was like a calf getting its legs after it's just been born, and how it's kind of wobbly, but then like it figures it out and it's got it. So even though the business might still be in its infancy and it's still kind of finding its legs, it does feel like it does become stable and it is supported. And I'm seeing kind of the next 3 to 6 months as we're still kind of finding our legs, but it feels like things are continuing to grow and continuing to build, and there is a greater sense of stability. So let's go to the initial part of your question. If you're in the right fit for your job, So first of all, this feels like this is kind of taking you a little bit outside of your comfort zone. It feels like there are new tasks, new things that you're doing. So it feels like there's a newness in this job for you, which I'm actually kind of excited about because it feels like it's stimulating you and it's challenging you, but in a positive way. And the other thing that I'm seeing is it feels like it's something where there's some recognition that's coming up too. If that isn't present, if the recognition of what you're doing or acknowledgement of what you're doing or like gratitude for doing a good job isn't there, then that changes what I'm getting. As long as that's there and that's present, it feels like there is enough opportunity for you to continue to grow with the company, with the organization. And it feels like they're happy to bring people in to move into new places. So I do have excitement that's coming up for this, but I'm not wanting to put my full weight on it yet. You know, when you're rock climbing is apparently the example that I'm being given. And you're like testing your foothold to make sure that it's steady before you put your full weight on it to make sure that it doesn't fall out from under you. That's the imagery that I'm getting. So we're wanting to make sure that before you put your full weight on this, that you make sure that it's stable. So until then, it feels like you're still kind of keeping your options open to a certain extent. I'm not feeling the need to make a change right now because it still feels like everything is coming into a place where it's proving itself, and it's proving itself to you and to the other people that you work with. It's proving itself to the people that you work for. It's proving itself to its customers or its clientele. So there's still a lot of proving that's happening. And until that like full on stability is there, and until that acknowledgement and recognition is coming in on a regular basis, I'm seeing you saying, yeah, this is something that's interesting. I want to explore it. It feels like it's a good fit. But until I feel like super solid, I'm going to keep my eye out. I'm going to keep my options open. But it feels like as we move kind of beyond the 6-month mark, so we're the middle, say, of August. So September, October, November, December, January, February. So that takes us into the new year. And at that point, it feels like you've got a really solid handle. And if things aren't feeling great at that point, then I'm seeing a change. But it feels like there's lots of opportunity for growth and that people are still figuring things out on lots of different levels. And that's okay. It feels like overall you're in a good spot that has lots of possibility and opportunity. Let's take a look and see what messages are coming up for you. We're going to check in with the angels. What does Avril need to know about the new job that she's in? Interesting. I'm going to pull a qualifying card for that. So the card that popped up for you, this is Archangel Metatron, and it's the Indigo and Crystal Children card. You have a bond with children. In particular, you can help children who are sensitive. So if the work that you're doing has anything to do with kids or children, then this is confirmation that you are absolutely 110% in the right spot. This card can also come up when we're needing to focus on our own inner child. We're needing to focus on making sure that we're being honored and respected, and we're giving ourselves opportunity for play and for fun. So there's lots of exploration that's coming up with this card. And the qualifying card that I pulled for it is the clairvoyance card. And this is Archangel Raziel. And his message is, I am helping your spiritual sight to awaken fully so you can clearly see heavenly love. Clairvoyance is one of the 4 primary ways that we receive intuitive messages and information. It means literally clear sight or clear seeing. So that says to me a couple of different things. One, make sure that you're paying attention to your own clairvoyance. So when you see things either outside of yourself, repeating numbers, you may see visions or images in your mind's eye. There are lots of different ways that clairvoyance manifests itself. Make sure that you're paying attention to that because those are signs and indications. The other way that this is coming up is this may also be showing you confirmation of the choices that you've already made. So if you're seeing lots of repeating numbers, so like 111 or 444 or whatever, see those as confirmations because those only appear when we're in balance. They're synchronistic. And so if we're not in balance, if we're not where we need to be, those things start to kind of dry up. It's a really great way to help to identify, yes, I'm on the right path because I'm seeing those synchronistic numbers, or I'm seeing things happening outside of myself. And I know that that's because the universe is giving me the thumbs up and they're saying you're on the right track. But if you're not seeing those things, especially if you usually do, then that's also a message. And that's an indication that we might need to step back a little bit and think about things. So you could start asking things like, do I need to be looking for something else? And if you start to see messages, once you ask that question, give yourself an hour or two, then that's a confirmation that, yeah, maybe it is time to start looking for something else. Or you could say, is where I am right now where I need to be for right now? And see what's kind of popping up. Sometimes we don't have to see the full picture. We only need to see the next 3 or 4 steps that are in front of us. Avril, I'm so incredibly grateful that you joined us this evening. I'm excited about this new work that you're doing because it does feel like there is lots of opportunity here. And I'm so grateful again that you popped on tonight. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way. You guys, I feel like we've got one more question in us tonight. Let's take a look. We've got Magnus. We've got Becky. Hi, Becky. It's great to see you. Let me see. So Becky's saying, I'd like some guidance on going forward with my business. I'm wondering if I need to apply to another teaching English job or putting my focus and energy in Paraprana. I'm asking because of the financial. Okay. So we're asking from a financial point of view. So what do we have coming up? So there is definitely focus that's going into Paraprana. For sure. It feels like your business is going to be coming together, but it's going to take some time. So the build it and they will come is still happening. We're still building up some energy and some vibration with that, and things are still coming together. From a financial point of view, is it going to support your needs within the coming month? It doesn't feel like we're quite there yet. So if we're looking at like, I need to make sure that I've got money coming in for bills this month, then yeah, absolutely. We're needing to bring in another job, something else that's going to bring some money in, because it feels like we've got about 2.5 to 3 months before your business is in a place where it's coming and it's supporting you. And honestly, in the grand scheme of things, when you're launching a business, that's actually a really fast timeline overall. So you're on the right track with what you're doing. It does feel like there's still momentum that's coming, and I do still see you putting energy in and you're putting energy and investment into your business that you're building, and it is coming together and it is paying off. But if we're looking at, do I have money to pay for my bills over the next month, and if we're coming up short, then yes, definitely, absolutely, we're going to want to take a look for another option for bringing some money in. When I ask about that, it feels like there are 2, possibly even 3 jobs or positions that come up. They feel like they're short term, so it doesn't feel like this is something that you're being locked into. I'm seeing something that almost feels like it's a 6 to 8 week contract. So it's like a fairly short amount of time. And it feels like that actually works out really well. Like it's just enough to do a little bit of work because that's helping to bring the bills in while I'm also doing the other thing. And things just kind of keep moving forward. So I do want to encourage you to take a look for one more thing, but this feels like this is it. Like it feels like things are starting to take off. Sorry, I've got something biting me. Okay, let's take a look. We're going to go to the mermaids and dolphins, and we're just going to ask, what does Becky need to know about money and finances over the next 3 months? That's what we're going to put our question to. Oops, actually, we've got 2 cards popping up. So the first card that we have here is the Make a Decision card. Feeling stuck or indecisive, listen to your intuition and make a decision. And it's interesting because this card actually came up for us a little bit earlier. When the Making a Decision card comes up, it's basically saying, if we don't make a choice and a decision, we're choosing to stay where we are. You've already made lots of choices and decisions. You've made the choice and decision to start your business, to launch your business, to get it going. And it feels like we're coming into, okay, if we're at the point where financially we're not being supported, then it's time to make the next choice and decision. Are we doubling down and going all in on the business, or are we going to say, I need a little more time and I'm going to find something else that's going to help to support me, that's going to take off some pressure, that's actually also going to give me the energy and the resources that I need to invest in my work? Because if we can invest in our businesses in a place where we're feeling calm and grounded in what we're building, and we're not feeling stressed and worried, like we don't want to bring the energy of, I don't know how I'm going to make this, I don't know how I'm going to do this into building our business, because that energy then vibrates through our business. So instead, we want to come to it from a place of feeling abundant. And if another job and position allows you to do that, that's exactly the thing to do. On the short term, we're talking 6 weeks, 8 weeks, probably not more than that. It's just enough to take the bite off. The second card that popped out for you is the helpful person card. Someone wants to help you. Think of who that may be and initiate contact. This feels like this is somebody who is in the same line or the same field, general field, that you're able to piggyback off of. So it's somebody who's already probably established, out doing a thing, and they are open to working with you. And so that feels like that's helping to give you some exposure. It's helping to bring clients in, and it's helping you to do work that you love. So it's close. It is so close, and it is coming. So don't worry, but also do the things that you need to make sure that you have the resources that you need to continue to support yourself. Becky, I'm sending so much love and so much support and energy your way, and I'm sending lots of abundance. And I also want to do a little bit of a plug for Becky, because I know Becky actually fairly well, and she has started this really amazing business. It's called Paraprana. I shared it on my Instagram page a couple of days ago, because she's doing amazing things, and I've had the pleasure of having a treatment and a session with her, and she's freaking amazing. So I also know that you're going to do a great job. Sending big hugs and lots of love your way. Awesome. I said that we were, oh no. Yeah, I said that we were done, but I see we've got 2 more people here that are popping up. Oh my gosh, we've actually got lots of people. Oh, can we do it? Oh, my friends, actually, no, I'm sorry, we can't, because I'm about to be watered out. The sprinklers are heading in my direction. So I am so incredibly grateful for everyone who hopped on and joined us this evening. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Erin Lee of heavenlymessenger.com. Hold on a half a second. I've got 2 things that I want to share. The first one is the Connection with Intention email newsletter. It's going to be a little more sporadic as we head into September. How often I'm going to be on, I'm planning to come on at least every second Tuesday, but as we start to move into class season, that starts to shift and change. So if you want to be in the loop and also receive the links on YouTube and Facebook to the upcoming Connection with Intention shows, join this email newsletter. I promise that I'm not going to inundate your inbox. I hate that. I can't stand email newsletters, but if you want to make sure that you catch me live and get in early enough to get your questions answered, please consider joining the email newsletter. I also post on Facebook and on YouTube and on Instagram, so you can also keep an eye out there. Follow or subscribe wherever you can. And then the second thing that I wanted to mention, where we can connect for your own personal reading as well. If you want to connect for a personal reading, head over to my website. It's bookingwitherin.com. Readings are available by phone and Zoom. I'm in Canada. All of my prices are in Canadian dollars, and I speak with people all over the world. It's so much fun. If you want to connect via phone, that's available in North America. And otherwise, if you're somewhere else, then we can connect through Zoom, and it's always a great time. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm sending big hugs, lots of love and support your way. My intention is that we'll be connecting again next week on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. But keep an eye out on the socials or sign up for the email newsletter to know for sure. Lots of love.